Did you really think I was going to give up that easy? Check out my new unit. Let's crack on again. Now, when I say my new unit is in the middle of nowhere, I really mean my unit is in the middle of nowhere. I'm literally miles from the nearest house, and that is absolutely how I want it. So, let me tell you a story. We all have a story, don't we? So, as you know by watching the last video, a couple of months ago I got handed notice on my old unit and I basically had to leave. I've still got it technically till the end of March, but I weren't going to hang around. So I started looking around, standard stuff, Facebook Marketplace, all that sort of stuff. And there was a few units popping up, and I sent a few emails, and you know, anyone who's in the motor trade who's been looking for a unit, you'll know exactly how hard it is. No one wants to entertain motor trade at all. And the people that do want to entertain motor trade, they want loads and loads of money. So trying to find someone that will, one, entertain motor trade, two, doesn't want loads of money, and three, will actually have a dyno is really, really hard. I'm literally the worst end of the scale when it comes to the motor trade, like noise related anyway. You cannot get any worse than like the side of the trade that I'm in. So I looked and looked and looked, and I went on Rightmove and I found a unit just up the road from me, and I was like, oh, this looks quite good. So I rang the landlord, I had a word with him, and he was like, yeah, come down, we can have a chat. So, okay, lovely, you know. So I went down, and the unit, it was lovely. It was a little bit bigger than the unit that I was in on the farm. A bit deeper, I'd say, a bit wider. It didn't have as much height, but it did have a mezzanine. It had upstairs a little office. It was all really, really nice. They would accept motor trade. It was all absolutely fine. I told them about the dyno, and I said, you know, it can be quite noisy. And they were like, yeah, no problem, blah, blah, blah. Showed him pictures of my old setup, showed him some videos, linked to my YouTube so they can see exactly the type of thing that I'm up to. And the guy was like, yeah, absolutely fine, come over, have a look. So I went over, had a look at the unit. I was like, this is amazing. It was in the middle of nowhere again, on the back end of a farm, nice little barn. Standing there talking to him, and it just went, you know, between conversation, it went quiet. And all I heard was like, how do I describe it? Like a sort of sound. And I was like, I looked at him, I went, what's that noise? And he went, oh, behind your unit, there's stables. I was like, stables? He's like, yeah. He says, literally, like, this barn is split down the middle, and at the back of this barn is stables. There's like 8 horses in there. I was like, 8 horses? He went, yeah, that'd be all right, wouldn't they? I was like, no, they won't be all right, I'm afraid. I was like, that's just not going to work. And he's like, well, I don't think it'll be that bad. Do you think you'll make that much noise? I was like, honestly, I was like, I'll have cars doing like 140 mile an hour on the spot. I was like, you don't understand. I said, I can box it in with a dyno cell, but it won't be that quiet. It'll be quieter. I said, but not that quiet. Like, you know, you can't hear it from like 200-300 yards away. I was like, but backing onto with a conjoined wall to a stables, I was like, that is just not going to work. And he was just like, well, why don't you like bring your dyno over here, set it up, and, you know, do it for a couple of days, and we'll give you a couple of weeks for free and see how it works out. I was like, honestly, I was like, one power run, there's going to be 8 dead horses. They're going to die of shock. I was like, I'm telling you now. I was like, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you having me over here. I was like, but I'm telling you, it ain't going to work. I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste your time lugging a 1.2 ton dyno all the way over here to be kicked out within half an hour. I said, it just won't work. And he was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And he's like, maybe we can find a bit on site for you. I was like, I'll be honest. I was like, the site's lovely and it is quite big. I was like, but finding somewhere on site, I said, I'd need to be a good, you know, I'm talking a couple of 100 yards away from stables. I was like, otherwise I'm just going to spook the horses. I was like, don't get me wrong, if a horse gets used to that noise from when they're like a really baby horse, then they kind of get used to it. I was like, but these horses that have been used to being in peace and quiet all their life, having that next door to them, I was like, it just won't work, basically. And it went back and forth, back and forth. He found me another bit on the site that I could have, but when I went and had a look at it, we're talking like 50 yards away from a wedding venue. And I was like, no. I was like, again, you're just going to get noise complaints and you're going to get the ump with me. I was like, honestly, really appreciating you, you know, taking the time out of their day to try and make it work for me and to make it work for them. you know, I was quite thankful for that, because, you know, not a lot of people like to entertain it. But I mean, the guy actually said to me, like the kid who was showing me around, he said, if I had my way, he said, I'd have the horses off site. He says, we've had to get rid of so many trades because of like noise and stuff like that upsets the horses. Like, so my unit, the unit that I was going to take that he was showing me, it used to be someone who made chocolate, but the smell of the chocolate was upsetting the horses, so he had to leave. They had to kick him out. And I was like, if horses are going to get upset with the smell of chocolate, they're not going to like me there at all. So he was like, no, it's fair enough. And he showed me some other stuff, and I was like, no, you know what? I was like, I'm just going to call it a day. And I kind of gave up. I looked around a bit more. I found a storage unit. They had loads of motor trade on site, again just up the road from me. So I was like, it's entertaining, let's go and have a look. Really, really cheap. Like, it was less than what I'm paying, or was paying, at the old farm. And I thought, oh, okay, fair enough, you know, it's quite nice. I was like, yeah, can I work in here? And they were like, no, it's storage only. I said, yeah, I get that. I said, but all these other units have got 2-poster ramps, and like that gearbox has got the subframe off of Duke. And I was like, you know, this guy's got like a car stripped down ready for paint. He's like, yeah, you can work out of them ones, just not these ones. I was like, yeah, but they're all the same. I was like, they're literally, he went, yeah, they've got light industrial. Some of them have got B1. This one's down as storage only. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And I thought, well, you know what? I was like, at least I've got somewhere that I can move all my stuff to, because I was worried that I was going to be like evicted from the farm. End of March would just come around in no time, and I'd have nowhere to put anything. I was like, so you know what? I was like, for the money this was, I was like, I'm going to take it. It's 1,200 square foot, so it was massive as well. It was like 3 times the size of like the old farm unit. So I went, well, I'm never going to run out of room. I can put cars in there, just not work on them. I was like, yeah, fine, that'll do. So I took that, moved a load of stuff there, and then I was flicking through Rightmove and like all the, you know, the usual sites that you look at, Zoopla and all stuff like that, all the commercial stuff. And I found, about 25 minutes drive from my house, this big old unit. And I thought, oh, that looks good. I was like, let's email the agent. So I emailed the agent. He rang me up and he said, oh, you know, he says, I've dealt with the landlord for ages. He went, I don't know if it's free yet. I think someone's moving out, but they're not moved out yet. I said, well, keep me in the loop. Let me know. He says, yeah, okay, fair enough. Didn't hear nothing back. A couple more weeks goes by. Still looking. Email him again. I was like, have you had any news? And he said, oh, no, I haven't heard from him. As soon as I hear from him, I'll let you know. I was like, okay, fine. I put a post on Facebook. If you go down, if you follow me on social media, you'll see my Facebook page, on my Ignition Advantages Facebook page. I put a post up saying, if anyone knows of a unit, let me know, because, you know, I'm looking to move. I've got to find somewhere. I'm being kicked out. This guy called Dean, really nice guy, messages me. And he's like, there's always units coming up for rent on my place. He went, they have motor trade as well. And I said, where's your place? Told me where it was. I was like, that's the unit I've been trying to get hold of. I was like, that's the unit I've been trying to entertain. I said, but the letting agent ain't getting back to me. I was like, you got the landlord's number by any chance? He was like, yeah, of course. He don't mind anyone having it. Here you go, have the landlord's number. So I was like, all right, cool. Rung the landlord up. Really, really nice guy. Told him what I do, told him what I'm about. Map cars, fuel injection conversion, stuff like that. He says, well, I'm not doing this over the phone. He says, come down, we'll have a chat face to face. I was like, oh, okay, lovely. Drove over, really straight talking, right to the point guy, really likable, just how you want a landlord. He's like, so Michael, tell me. I says, yeah. He goes, how do I know you're not going to fuck me about with rent? And I was like, oh, you know, I'm quite a good talker, I like to think. I'm really good at talking to people. But he caught me off guard. So I was like, well, you know, I can give you my word, but that doesn't really mean much, if you know what I mean. And he was like, yeah, he says, we've had some right plonkers on this site lately. He says, I don't want any more. I says, well, look, I can pay all the deposits. I can get you some references. I was like, anything you want to know, just let me know. So he's like, oh, okay, I'll have a think about it. Tell you what, texts me his email address. He's like, email me over your driving license, some bank statements, some council tax bills, stuff like that. I'll have a little think and we'll see where we go. So I says, yeah, okay, fair enough. Now, the unit that I was looking at is big. Like, it was really, really big. And I thought, do I really? It was like, you know, I had a budget in mind. Like, I knew my rent was going to go up. I knew if I moved, well, I was going to have to move anyway. But I knew wherever I was looking, I was going to have to pay more money. So I'd set a price limit in my head. And I thought, if I can get anything that price or under that price, I'll go for it. Anything more than that price, I thought it's just going to be too much. I was like, you know, it won't work for me. You know, so I just thought, no. So I'd set my price. But this unit that he was offering me, it was well over my price. I say well over, like a couple of £100 over my price. And I hummed and hawed and I thought, oh, you know what? I can just make it work. I was like, I'm only 35. I don't want to give up yet. I still enjoy the YouTube videos. I still enjoy dynoing stuff and the Zetec and, you know, all the Max ECUs and all the mapping and stuff. I was like, I really enjoy it. I was like, I don't want to give up yet. I was like, let's just go for it. I was like, I'm sure it'll work out. Talking to a pal of mine, really good pal of mine. And I said, oh, he's also on the farm, like the farm I've just been evicted from. He had a unit around the back. Chatting away with him, and I said, like, you know, oh, I might have found a unit. And he was like, where is it? So I showed him where it was, showed him some pictures. And he's like, wow. He's like, that's massive, isn't it? I went, yeah, it is massive. And it didn't even cross my mind. I was literally saying, like, you know, I've got this unit. It's really good. Like, maybe I'll see if I can find you one on site. And he went, it's really big, isn't it? I was like, yeah. He goes, do you need all that room? And I was like, well, no, I don't particularly. I mean, it's nice to have all that room, but I don't actually, you know, I'm not desperate for all that room. And he went, well, why don't we go halves? And I was like, yeah, why don't we go halves? So like Alex, my pal, he's a builder, but he does track days and stuff like that. So he's got like kit cars and, you know, like some nice cars and stuff. And he was like, why don't you have one half? I'll have the other half. We'll just split all the bills down the middle. It'll make it easier for both of us. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this literally makes it the same price as what I'm paying at the moment. But I wouldn't say shed loads more room, but I'm on a lot nicer site with proper electric. I've got a toilet. I'll show you in a minute. I've got everything that you could want in a unit, and I'm pretty much saying, I'll say the same price. I'm paying like an extra £100 a month on top of what I was paying. So it is so worked out. But yeah, so let me show you around my new unit. So this is it from the outside. You're going to have to forgive me because it's very much work in progress at the moment. I hope to be done and dusted by the end of January. My little blue Mark II Fiesta. I did a video on this a couple of months ago. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Nothing special. It's just a 1.1 lowered on diamond cut pepper pots, which I think look absolutely spot on. Big plans for this, but this all got put on hold because of the unit. This is the unit. Alex has this side, and obviously I have this side. We have a proper toilet. All right, I say a proper toilet. It does need some work in here. It's pretty grim. I'm not going to film a toilet. You know what a toilet is. Got a sink, got hot water, got running water. Nice little toilet facilities that my old place didn't have at all. If anyone of you lot have visited the old farm, you'd know that there was no toilet. You just had to go wherever you could go, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Got my ramp moved over. Obviously you see it's all stripped out the other place. It's not bolted down yet and it's not wired up, but I've got loads more room around it. I don't need to like swing a door out the way to get in. I can drive straight in as well. And I plan on putting a single poster ramp over here as well, because obviously this is my half. We do try and keep the front clear so we can both get in and out, but you know, we're best pals, like, so we make it work, you know what I mean? We've only had this unit for about 3 weeks, so you can see it has come a long way. Luckily for me, Alex is a builder, so he was like, if you need any work done, mate, he's like, just cover the boys' wages and you can have them. So he literally has had like 3 or 4 guys flat out moving stuff and building stuff, so it worked out so well in my favour. Like, I'm really grateful. I am a lot of dinners and a lot of beer. This is my new dyno cell. It's pretty much the same size as my old dyno cell. It's a bit longer this way and it is definitely a bit wider just because of the curve of the building as such. First thing we did was obviously, once it was built, we moved the stills over. Dave next door moved the stills for me. He's made these metal frameworks for the doors. They've obviously got to be cladded out in wood again. These are my old doors. I sort of repurposed them. I'm going to make them work, which is handy. The dyno is in here. It's very dark back here because obviously there's no lights or anything like that. It's all work in progress. But yes, as you can see, my dyno, just about see, my dyno is here. My extractors are actually in the wall and they go outside this time as well. For anyone who'd been to the dyno cell last time, you'd sort of come out the door and my fans are up there just blowing out inside the unit. This time the exhaust gases actually go out of the unit, so that's absolutely lovely. They've sort of stud worked, you know, stud wall that side. They've studded up that side. Because of the curve of the building, let me try and stand back and show you. We was going to build a stud wall up to there straight and then angle from the top of there up to the wall. But when you work out how much room you're actually saving, it was just quicker to build a straight stud wall at a bit of an angle, as you can see. And because there's a lot of room back here, I can pack this with insulation as well to try and keep some more of the noise in. So that is going to work well. But yeah, as you can see, the wall is very angled up to the top plate there. But once it's all packed with insulation and boarded and everything's, you know, sealed in as it should be, I'm sure it'll work out absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm really happy with this place. Like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, like there's no one around here, so I don't think noise is going to be an issue. To be fair, I don't even think realistically I needed to build the dyno cell, but I like to keep neighbours happy, and I'd rather, like I said in the last place, I'd rather build a dyno cell and not have any problems rather than have problems and then have to try and rectify them. If I build it once, build it right from the start, I don't think I'm going to have an issue. But yeah, it's all right. Obviously, Alex just stores all his building materials along here, which is fine for him. His track car and stuff he has at the back. I think he's eventually going to put, he's having a ramp put in next week, so he can take that up there and then have another car underneath it. That's his plan. But obviously, because I've got my steelworks there, I think eventually he's just going to put doors across here as well to make it even more secure, which I don't blame him. Obviously, there's still work to be done here. This still needs to have a stud work wall put here, which obviously needs to be boarded and insulated and obviously like tied into the edge of the building. And however builders do it, I don't build stuff. I just pay people to build stuff because I'm clearly no good at it. Yeah, I've got my little orange crane moved as well. If anyone remembers the crane, that's great. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, but that there is a Zetec Turbo, obviously my favourite engine of all time. It's a half-ton crane, so we can literally wheel engines here, winch them upstairs and then put them upstairs. It's not as tall up there as the last place was. So the old farm had a lot more headroom on here, but this one's a lot lower. You can stand up on this side, but by the time you get to here, you're crouching, and by the time you're here, you're my height. So I'm quite short. No, so I'm not going to have an office or anything like that up there, but I don't really need an office. I just need a dyno cell and a ramp. To be fair, I don't even need a ramp. I've only bought it because I've got room for it. And I'll get an extra parking space. Obviously, I can put one on the ramp, then one under the ramp. But yeah, so bear with me. It is work in progress, but we are getting here, getting on. Well, we're getting there rather. Getting here, getting there. It's all right. We've got proper single phase. We've got 3-phase. We've got running water. We've actually got a phone line coming in here as well, so we can actually get a proper modem in here, which is nice. This unit's got proper light industrial on it. So I've told the landowner what I'm doing. He seems more than happy with that. So I'm just going to get set up, crack on and see how it works out. So yeah, this is a little mini tour of the new place. Obviously I haven't filmed like loads of it being built because, you know, you've seen it being built like last time round. You know what it entails, the building walls and screwing wood to it and stuff. So I thought, oh, Alex being an electrician, he renewed all the downlights as well. So we've got some bad boy LED ones. We used to have them old school, you know, them ones that you turn on and they hum for like the first 5 minutes. And we used to have, they was up here when we moved in, but the landlord was like, yeah, just do whatever you want. We're getting a new roller shutter fitted as well. Nothing really wrong with that one. It's pretty secure, but it's a bit outdated. The landlord offered it, really nice guy. So we decided to take him up on that offer. So yeah, I don't really know what else there is to show you. Just trying to have a massive sort out. That still needs boarding up there just to stop anything falling off onto Alex's side really. Ramp needs to get bolted down and then wired up. It's so quiet and peaceful. It's eerie. There's like never anyone here. I like it. I've still got loads of soot everywhere. Still got loads of plasterboard. I'm trying to repurpose as much as I could from the old unit. I know I'm going to have to like buy more materials, but at the moment we've reused like everything. So like all the stud work here, that was all used from the stud wall down one side, I think. And obviously there was all upstairs and the double ceiling and stuff. We haven't done a double full ceiling this time. We've just battened it out. The steel work, that's all been reused. Dave actually welded and extended the steel. I think he must have made it a bit longer then. God knows. But yeah, so he's made that full length along there. The stud work across the back, that was all the office upstairs that you see Brad and Ollie taking down. That made that wall. And a lot of the stud work upstairs. Again, that was all from the office, from the old place as well. This stud work's all wood left over. I think I've spent about 80 quid on materials so far. Like Alex's boys have been really good, like repurposing everything. But I think next week they're going to come in, do more woodwork, finish off this bit of wall. I'm thinking I'm going to have a ducting of some sort down there. Maybe just running up there at an angle. I don't really know yet, just to let fresh air into the cell, if you know what I mean. Because I've got the extractors dragging the air out now. So obviously I'm going to have to let air in like I did at the last place. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to work absolutely fine. don't know what else there is to show you. Still got loads of material left over. Well, I say not left over, they're going to obviously use that over there at some point. But yeah, I wasn't ready to give up. Definitely wasn't ready. I was gutted because I didn't want to move. So much anyone who's moved units, you know the amount of aggravation it is. I didn't really want to move as such, but obviously I had to move, so I've just had to roll with it. But yeah, it's worked out for the best because I've got a better place. All right, it's a little bit further from home. Last unit was like 15-minute drive. This is a 25-minute drive, but I'm not fussed, like, you know what I mean? That's no problem at all. And it's all country lanes and nice scenery and nice views, so I do quite enjoy that side of things, you know? But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'd like to, oh, actually, I do know what else I need to say. I want to say a massive thank you for, like, you guys. So when I put up the last video saying, like, you know, I'm being kicked out, being evicted, honest to God, I've probably had over 100 people messaging me, sending me links to units, saying they might know someone moving out, that there might be a place in here, and his friend's got a, you know, a landlord that's got some units coming available, and they'll contact them for me. And, you know, and I must admit, being honest, I have ignored a lot of you guys because obviously I knew I had this. This is why I feel the need to have to put this video up now. So obviously I'm not ready to start work and start dynoing stuff yet, but I am getting there and I do have the room. And I'm not going nowhere. I will be back. There'll still be more YouTube content. I have got loads of plans in the future for things I want to do, and now I've got room, I can actually do it, because obviously this ramp's great, but I could only get very small cars on there because I just didn't have the access to the ramp. Now I can get like full-blown stuff like my recovery truck and stuff like that, and I do have a supercharger for my recovery truck as well, so that should get quite interesting. But yeah, so here you go. Here's my unit in all its glory. It's an old tunnel, it's all spray insulated as well, so it's nice and warm. New dyno cell. 2024 is a new beginning. So yeah, if you like what I do, like, share, subscribe. If not, then don't. Cheers guys, let's crack on.